WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Good evening, I'm Tommy Lopez. There was a sizable drug bust recently in Tupelo. Law enforcement members say today they took a significant amount of cocaine off the streets. This is what they found at one man's house, nearly 2 pounds of cocaine. Tupelo Police and Lee County Sheriff's deputies worked together. They arrested 32-year-old Rico Morris. Investigators say they found more than 30 ounces of cocaine, more than $20,000 in cash, a gun, and weed. He's facing trafficking and weapons charges. The case could go before a federal grand jury. The investigation started last month when officers were there at his house working on a separate shooting that took place there. The street value of just that cocaine alone is $50,000.
After the investigation was complete, then the complete circle of the problem has come, that it was all surrounded around drugs. And unfortunately, that's what we deal with in everyday society and law enforcement. Is a lot of our criminal activity, whether it be burglaries or shootings or robberies or anything, has all been connected back to the drug cartel. So, with this much getting off the street, that's a big lick.
Morris's bond is $50,000. New tonight, an Alabama woman is in jail in Lowndes County, accused of assaulting a police officer. On Sunday, Columbus police were answering a disturbance call at the Columbus Inn and Suites. When they got there, Anastasia McCaw allegedly began punching one of the officers in the chest. McCaw was arrested for simple assault on a police officer. Her bond is set at $20,000. We have new information tonight in Oxford. A child there died after an accident Sunday afternoon. Oxford police say 9-year-old Henry Miller climbed inside his family's car and accidentally knocked it into neutral. The car began moving down the driveway. The child tried to get out of the car, but fell into the path of the wheels. His parents took him to the emergency room, but the staff were not able to save him. Oxford police say that there are no charges pending in that case. A West Alabama woman is missing. Law enforcement is asking now for the public's help. The Pickens County Sheriff's Office is looking for Christy Cook. Sheriff David Abston says she was last seen in Pickens County last Wednesday afternoon. He says she was traveling to Tennessee and did not arrive at her destination. The truck she was in was recovered in Etowah County. She's 5 foot 3 inches tall, weighs 150 pounds. She has the tattoo of the number 5150 on the right side of her neck. Anyone with information can contact the Pickens County Sheriff's Office. There are 2 new federal prosecutors in the top roles in Mississippi. Gregory Davis and Felicia Adams had been in those spots. They both resigned after Attorney General Jeff Sessions asked Friday for all U.S. attorneys that President Barack Obama had appointed to step down. So they did. President Donald Trump will now have to make new nominations. The 2 people in those roles for the time being are Harold Britton in the south part of the state and Robert Norman in North Mississippi. There's bad news today, though, regarding jobs in Alabama. The unemployment rate continues to climb. The counties in our area in West Alabama they've been hit hard. The number is up to 6.4% for unemployment for the state. That's up nearly 1/3% compared to last year. One major reason for the increase is there are more people entering the workforce, which is obviously good. Pickens County's jobless rate is up more than a percentage point from the previous month, and the rate is up nearly 1% in Lamar County. The nationwide unemployment rate rose slightly, but is still below 5% at 4.8%. Lawmakers in Alabama and Mississippi are trying to keep it mandatory for schools to teach cursive writing. Many educators think it's important to teach kids to write in cursive at a young age and implement it throughout a student's education. Right now in Mississippi, there's a cursive standard bill in the House. Alabama passed a form of the law last January called Lexi's Law. It ensures students learn cursive writing by the end of the 3rd grade.
Teachers have to know how to teach cursive writing because, you know, we all write our names, sign our names every day, but there's a process for teaching cursive. And so the key to me is to find a program or a strategy that teachers can use to teach students to form their letters.
In Mississippi, the bill is awaiting approval before it can become law. To our weather tonight, Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson is in with us. Keith, cold, cloudy tonight.
It is just a miserable evening out there considering the time of year. Yes, it's been a cloudy and wet day, 45 in Tupelo, but we have dried things out a little bit here. There are a few showers to the northwest of Tupelo, but all of us now into the mid-40s for the most part. Speaking of those showers, there they are. They are trying to fall apart, though, as they get into our area. So still a risk for a little bit of rain tonight, maybe a light shower. Tomorrow, a lot of cloud cover. It's going to be a gloomy start. If we're lucky, we'll see more sun and get up to around 50, but still chilly with that northwest wind. The full forecast details in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Keith. Soon, families of fallen veterans from all over the country will be honoring their lost loved ones near Kilmichael. People in this small town in Montgomery County are building Mississippi's 5th National Cemetery. Our Quentin Smith has more on how it's going to have an impact in many different ways.
Awesome.
Outstanding.
Truly delightful.
Those are the first words that city and county leaders say comes to mind when they ride by and see the North Mississippi Veterans Memorial Cemetery in Montgomery County. It's located in the small town of Kilmichael, which has a population of less than 700 residents.
I almost have to pinch myself to make sure that this is all real.
I don't think many of us right now can realize the potential that it has for our community, especially in the way of exposure. You know, we're a little small town, and we have a motto, the town that cares, and this will only add to that motto.
The cemetery is just one of 2 state cemeteries in Mississippi. It covers over 50 acres of land, and once all of the construction work is completed, it'll have enough space to bury more than 110,000 soldiers.
And that's what it's all about, is to be able to serve our veterans and their families during a time of grief.
Mark Lawson is the director of the cemetery. He says it's been a long 15 months of hard work, but he's happy with the way things are turning out.
We're about 85% complete with the project. The buildings are all complete. We've got some landscaping left.
And once the cemetery is completed and ready to be opened, both city and county leaders are expecting it to have a huge economic impact on the area.
They'll work 6 or 8 employees, which helps, you know, in any small town when you can provide a few more jobs.
I think it will bring a lot of stuff to Montgomery County, Kilmichael community. It's going to bring a lot of traffic for one. It's going to bring a lot of interest for another. I know that the Tri-County area, Grenada, Carroll County, Webster County, Montgomery County, they're all excited.
And then visitors adds to your sales tax. But still, my number one priority on all this is being able to honor the soldiers.
Quentin, thank you. No date has been set for the cemetery's opening.
Frost, or not frost, how about a freeze watch, freeze warning? Suffice to say, it's going to be chilly tomorrow night. Sensitive plants could be damaged. We'll talk about that and let you know when it's going to warm up around here after the break.
First Alert Weather Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Great to see you on this Monday. Our Alpha Insurance time-lapse in HD in downtown Columbus shows the clouds rolling on through, the showers coming on in. It's been a gloomy day, and we will change things up a little bit later this week and start to moderate things by the upcoming weekend. But in the near term, it's just going to be a bit cool. Showers trying to come on back into North Mississippi. These are fairly light, but still a risk for a light shower, maybe a sprinkle as we go throughout the overnight hours. That stripe of rain right there in eastern Alabama, that's what moved through here earlier today. That's on the way out. But this is the genesis of that blizzard later tonight and tomorrow. Look at this. The center will develop and move up the eastern seaboard. Check this out, the blizzard of 2017. And the colors here illustrate where we have the strongest wind up there in New England tomorrow. Wind gusts maybe up to around 60 miles per hour there in Washington, D.C., and New York City and Boston. And there's a live look courtesy of EarthCam right there. New York City, Times Square. Look at traffic moving through pretty good right now. But you factor in the blizzard and the wind and the snow, maybe 1 to 2 feet of snow in the next 24 hours where we just showed you there. It's going to be quite the whirlwind of changes going on up there. There's that system moving on in, and we're talking about this tonight because on the back side of this thing, we're going to see that cold air funnel all the way down to the deep south because of this big buckle in the jet stream right there. So because of this thing right here on your screen, that is why we are looking at some cold temperatures for the near term. A freeze likely tomorrow night and Wednesday night. Mid to upper 20s, at least below freezing here. Cover the plants. A hard freeze possible tomorrow night and maybe again on Wednesday night. Currently in the 40s around here, so no freeze tonight. We're going to take it down into the mid to upper 30s by sunrise. Maybe a few isolated showers, but temperatures will gradually fall after midnight. And we're looking at a lot of cloud cover to start out the day in Tupelo and everywhere else. And we're hopeful for some additional sunshine during the afternoon with high temperatures in the mid to upper 40s here in northeast Mississippi, a shot at some lower 50s farther south. Again, we're rolling the dice and assuming we will see some sunshine tomorrow that will at least allow us to moderate things a little bit. If we don't see that sun fast enough, it could be a cooler day than that 50 we are advertising. 49 Wednesday, 50 on Thursday, 68. The luck of the Irish for St. Patrick's Day. We're back into the 60s where we should be. Warmer weekend too.
Yeah, it's been gloomy a lot recently, so the sunshine certainly welcomed here for what is spring break week. For
allegedly spring break week.
Right.
What?
Still cold, obviously.
Folks that went down to South Florida enjoying it right now.
Yeah, really, exactly.
They're not here watching this broadcast, but they're enjoying it somewhere.
Yeah, still freezing temperatures at night for a couple of nights.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, Keith, thank you very much. Well, Mississippi State finds out some news tonight in terms of women's basketball, the schedule and potential for who they will play, where they will play in games 1 and 2 coming up.
WCBI News at 10 with Tommy Lopez.
To our Health Talk with Baptist segment. Tonight, Baptist is talking about healthy eating.
Hi, I'm Nikki Chittenden, registered dietitian at Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle. March is National Nutrition Month. How, when, why, and where you eat are all just as important as what you eat. Take time to appreciate the great flavors and social experiences that food can add to your life. Develop a mindful eating pattern that includes nutritious and flavorful foods. Your plan should include vegetables, fruits, whole grains, fat-free or low-fat dairy, and lean proteins. Remember to limit added sugars, salt, and saturated fats. Go for whole grains such as barley, oatmeal, or brown rice. Reduce intake of beef by choosing chicken, fish, or vegetarian entrees. Stay open to trying new foods or cooking techniques, since it can take up to 10 times trying a new food before your taste bud adjusts. Finally, try to include physical activity for at least 30 minutes every day. A registered dietitian nutritionist, the food and nutrition expert, can help you learn how to savor the flavor of eating right. For more helpful tips and information, contact the dietitians at Baptist Memorial Golden Triangle at 244-1597 or visit the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics at eatright.org. Follow hashtag National Nutrition Month on social media for updates. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist, where we will discuss more ways to savor the flavor by trying exciting new ways to season your food.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle.
But where will the Bulldogs be traveling to? Find out where Hail State Hoops is headed next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Robbie Donahoe.
It's been building to more and more each year for Mississippi State women's basketball. 3 years ago, Vic Schaefer's crew made a run in the WNIT. 2 years ago, it made it to the Big Dance, lost in the round of 32. And last year, a host in Starkville made it to the Sweet 16. And this year, more was involved. And speaking of more, there was more. During Mississippi State's women's basketball selection show watch party, the Bulldogs welcomed a couple hundred fans out to the Humphrey Coliseum for the big reveal. The Bulldogs signed autographs for about an hour. Then they went inside the Hump to watch the NCAA tournament selection show, as the Bulldogs knew they'd more than likely be a 2 seed. There wasn't nearly very much drama in that, but they found where MSU would be a 2 seed in the Oklahoma City Regional. MSU will face Troy in the first round of the tournament on Friday with a winner over the Trojans. Hail State Hoops will play the winner of DePaul and Northern Iowa. It will be an early Friday game in Starkville for MSU. Head coach Vic Schaefer ecstatic to be playing for it all once again.
Excited about playing. I hate that we got to play on a Friday afternoon at 1:30, but last year we had 5,100. You know, I'm wanting 75 or 8. I may have to send out that letter again, excusing everybody from the office early, but be glad to do that.
It's an amazing feeling, just because we've worked so hard for this moment, and we worked so hard for that 2 seed, and just to know that we're going to play in front of our fans again.
This is what we all worked for. So to see it finally come off the page, and you see like we're finally going to postseason, you just realize like it's a new season, and if we want to go get a ring, we got to go get it.
So here's your Friday schedule. Game starts at 11 a.m. with Northern Iowa DePaul. After that, it'll be Troy, Mississippi State. Games more than likely will be on ESPN2 around here, but just to be safe, get to the Humphrey Coliseum and watch the games. $40 all-session ticket. You can find those tickets at hailstate.com/tickets. If you want to see the full bracket of games, we're going to have that shortly online on our website at WCBI.com. Sunday's game could be DePaul MSU. Contrasting styles. DePaul, a top 10 scoring offense in college hoops. Mississippi State, a top 10 scoring defense. Other SEC teams in the field. South Carolina got a 1 seed. Kentucky's a 4. Tennessee A&M got 5s. Missouri's a 6. LSU's an 8. And Auburn is an 11. So MSU avoided being in the Stockton, California regional and UConn's regional. So in terms of geography, a good draw for MSU, but the teams that lay in front of them, DePaul's very good. They could see Oklahoma or Washington if they make it to the Sweet 16. And in the Elite 8, if it does get to that point, watch out for Baylor. They're the 1 seed. And Tennessee, the 5 seed, as you see in OKC. Going to be fun to keep an eye on our teams in the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament. And speaking of that tournament, Central Arkansas is also in the NCAA tourney. The Sugar Bears won the Southland Conference tournament over the weekend. They're led by 2 Columbus natives. You see one of them right here, Taylor Boudoir, that baseline jumper. She's the New Hope graduate. She's averaging 11 points and 6 rebounds per game in her junior season at UCA. While former Columbus Falcon and Starkville Academy graduate Maggie Proffitt, she's dominating the league, averaging 15 points and 3 rebounds per game. She was named the tournament's most valuable player, as she had 22 points in the championship game. UCA, by the way, a 14 seed. They will play Texas in the first round of the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament. And lastly, up in Oxford, Ole Miss learned this evening they have clinched a bid in the WNIT. Matt Ensel's Rebels finished 17-13 overall this year. That's good enough to earn an at-large berth in the 64-team tournament. The Rebels are led by Medina Muhammad and Chandrika Sesson. They combined to average just under 26 points per game. Ole Miss and Alabama, by the way, they were the lone SEC teams that were included in the WNIT field. So that is 10 of the 14 SEC schools in women's basketball that will be playing in some sort of postseason tournament. So great to see that. Speaking of the NIT, the Ole Miss men will kick off their run in the National Invitational Tournament coming up tomorrow, 6 o'clock p.m. tip time, as they will take on Monmouth. That game will be an online-only broadcast on ESPN3.com. We will have the highlights and recap that action coming up tomorrow night here on WCBI Sports. We'll have much more from the Starkville Regional. Expected to have press conferences and open practices for the media on Thursday. Again, games on Friday. If MSU wins, they will play Sunday. Probably another early afternoon game on that Sunday as well. And for those of you who didn't know, that Troy team, by the way, has a former ICC Lady Indian and Ripley Tiger on that team. Jayla Chills, she's a super scorer, so MSU will have a big task trying to hold her out of the scoring column. We'll talk much more hoops throughout the week. That's it for sports. We'll get a last look at your forecast when we come back.
Now, Tommy, you said it was National Napping Day or something.
It
Why
is,
are we
yeah.
still awake right now?
Right after the daylight savings time switch, we made it, Keith.
Now, we did enjoy that extra hour of daylight yesterday in the evening, same story tonight, but you couldn't really enjoy it because it was so gloomy. A little bit brighter over the next couple of days. Now, tomorrow morning, you'll see a lot of clouds. By the afternoon, more sun, but cool for the near term, some warmer weather by the weekend.
Yeah, staying cold. Keith, thank you. Thanks for joining us. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert is coming up next.